Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Oh, this is a nice bright light. Actually, I want to first take you on a journey. We are getting older and older. And meanwhile, we get more and more chronic diseases. And we have a really hard time to deal with some of our habits. I don't know how it is with you, but it's extremely easy to eat junk food and to live unhealthy. So where can we find the strength to walk that extra mile? And if it goes wrong, what do you do if your best friend gets cancer? Or even worse, in this case with me, when your friends die. So what do we expect of healthcare, and what can we reasonably expect from all the care providers? Is there enough manpower? Is there enough money to keep the system sustainable? Do we have an inclusive elderly and healthcare system that suits everyone? How do we grow old without becoming lonely? And will we take care of our parents in difficult times? Can the young take care of the old? So will the youth and their skills be able to open the door towards a sustainable world? And what is that sustainable world? What can science do for society? That's one of the questions for me. I think we can connect eager students to experienced elderly and think and look and design for societal challenges. We can give and offer them design expertise to work on innovative projects together with all stakeholders. We can offer them methodologies to develop tools to stay healthy. Build social platforms to move more. Build co-creation platforms together to connect people. Open up the world, do tailor care. Connect people to the outside and bring home health to make it easy. We can make homes smart. We can see what automation can bring to make life easier, or even go beyond bioengineering, heart valves. So for me, it's important that you also look at the processes. Can we make healthcare more sustainable? Maybe even more personalized. But all that, it's very important. It's all about the quality of life. And I could, of course, leave it with this. Give you a 4-minute video. In the beginning a bit, what are our challenges? And in the end, what can we, for instance, as a technical university, do for society? But actually, I don't want to push too much technology in here. But I do like to continue the story a bit, why I personally am triggered. As Valerie already said, it's like taking the first-person perspective to transform together. So I like to take you a bit in that first-person perspective. I like to give you my perspective, but also very much like to trigger you to think about your perspective. And we all seen it the entire day. It's making the future, but there are a lot of challenges for us. I mean, it's not for any reason that we have these 4 topics today. So dark clouds, but I prefer to look at the white clouds in the blue sky. What can we do? And being a designer as background, I truly believe in what design can do. Products change society, but products are also a reflection of society. They're mixed. And that means the nice thing that nowadays we can be 24/7 online everywhere. We can use our iPad everywhere. And that means that technology and the things that we design change the lives of people, change their experience, change the interaction with the world. That's for me the beauty for design. We envision a world through our hands. We can really create the world. We can really think and create the future. Let me tell you a few lines on a project that we started in 2006 called Rise Through Making. And we did that within the Design and Quality and Interaction group at the Department of Industrial Design. And I did that together with my former colleague, Professor Kees Overbeker, a true friend and colleague who unfortunately passed away last year, and together with Ambra Trotto, who was at that time a PhD. And we were in 2006 in Bertinoro in Italy, and we were thinking about making the future. What is that, making the future? We knew that there was a lot of talking in the world. We saw politics, we saw politicians, people talking about the world. We saw wars, we saw a lot of misery. We do have a Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone, I mean most of the countries signed that declaration. But do we live according to the rules? No way. So we started this project Rise Through Making to figure out, can we design a world, can we offer opportunities to let people behave according to those human rights? Can you evoke people to actually share different values? So we had a lot of students and we had a lot of people from all over the world working together. For instance, this project, can you share power and electricity by giving someone a hug and sharing it physically? Because that way you also share different values. I think the most important thing is that we found is the first-person perspective. We did this for 4 years, all kind of workshops, Brazilians, Italians, Nigerians, Japanese people involved, many, many countries involved. And at some point, we brought all these students together. They had difficulty in collaborating because language barriers. But you could think that they have the language of their hands. But still, at some point, after dancing, after exploring, etc., it felt as if they retreated and went back to their mind to think about the solution. But when we did it in another way, in the end, after 4 years, we finally found out what the essence was. We said, take your own skills, start from your skills, and let someone else experience what your skills are. And as soon as you do that, you're on a different empathy level, and you work together differently. Me standing up here talking to you are also partly thinking of me dancing on a Saturday or a Thursday evening. I do ballroom dancing. Or me sketching. I very much like to draw. It's all different skills, and the one makes me kind of influence in another situation, and that's what they try to do. Looking at different perspectives, and then suddenly, bang, they got really different quality of their ideas. So next to being a professor at industrial design, last year I became the leader of a theme called Smart Environment within the TUE. It's within the strategic area health. And smart environment is very much on empowering healthy living, empowering well-being. And this, of course, intrigues me, because if you look at Rise Through Making, it's also about quality of life, and in principle, it's about well-being. I think Roshi already said it very well. But what could the vision of smart environment be? We asked students, what would health and what would our world look like in 2030? Do we have bone regeneration? Do we, as Juro said, do we have gene matching? I'll find the right partner for you. What do we like the world to be also? You can look at many trends. There are statistics, there have been many reports. I know that Susanna Skalskar is in the room. She's doing a lot of stuff on trends analysis. Many people working on this topic. You saw most of those trends already in the movie in the beginning. Do we need a different healthcare system? Technology in there? How do we collaborate? We have more power, more technology, networked, etc. How do we use it? And what do we like to use from that? The last one, Rodin, is for me the ethical question. Where do we like to go all this? I'm pretty sure that technology can do it. We've heard today enough about Moore's law. That will work. But how will we use it? What kind of society do we envision? For me, another thing for setting up smart environment is very much looking like, where are we situated? It's the Brainport area. Okay, boring picture, only people in black with these ties and suits standing and chatting together. But in fact, I think that this is a really interesting area. We have people really willing to collaborate, willing to exchange expertise and do things together. Cisco, one of the major companies, came over here because they were interested in the way that all these stakeholders work together, the way that we respect each other. But this is one that triggered me the most. Rian Brandt and Simona Rocci wrote a paper on what society was and the developments for economic paradigms. In the 50s, industrial paradigm, it's very much we know the needs of what everyone, of all the customers. As an industry, you know how to perform, you produce, it's all about functionality, features, etc., and I'll give it. Linear process. Slowly but certainly, we also lost our ideology. So we moved towards experience economy, branding, lifestyles. So I could get a lifestyle back, not believe in church anymore, but maybe a certain lifestyle could help me to get my identity. And the companies kind of fitted that nicely. I don't want a Senseo, but maybe I want an Nespresso, an iPad. It's very much also about branding and experience. And now I think that Yuri already told a lot about that. We are into a knowledge economy. A lot of data, a lot of knowledge about use, a lot of knowledge from people. I'm becoming an expert, I'm becoming a co-creator. So there is a lot of things in there. But personally, I don't like to stop there. I pretty much see that there's a lot feasible in the knowledge economy. We can share things. Definitely, I do not hope that at some point I'm an open platform and you can read me now with all my stats and my heartbeat and the way that I'm walking. I like to keep some things for myself. I like to focus on what I have to say. I like to focus on what I can do. The thing that triggers me the most is what they envision for the future. It's a transformation economy. It's about not the me in the network connected to the other eyes, I mean, but it's very much about all the stakeholders. Everyone, not in a linear way, which was done in the information and experience economy, but in a horizontal way. We're equal. We're not the same, but we really like to work together. We have all kind of social challenges that we have to deal with, but we can only do it from a first-person perspective and transform together. We need each other in that. So, transform towards what? It means that we have to set ethical norms. Do we transform for the ethical good? And what is the ethical good? It might be different for different people. Is it tokalon, which means like the beauty and the good? Is it the rights through making is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? I don't know, but I know that we have to explore this together. So within Smart Environment, we try to focus on 3 tracks: staying healthy, empowerment in daily life, and sustainable healthcare. Again, you saw some of those things in the video. Sustainable healthcare, very much about processes. Figuring out, like, how can we analyze the system that we have right now? How can we change it? And how can we analyze in all the things that we change if it becomes more sustainable? Empowerment in daily life, the middle one, is very much about what do we offer at home? How can we support people in life to become, if they're sick, to get them satisfied people again? Not the sick person, but the person simply living with certain diseases. And then the first one, which is not very much in our economic healthcare system, but it's prevention. How can we prevent becoming sick? And for me, that's an interesting one, because I like to go beyond what Yuri is saying. Sorry, Yuri, I just think it's nice also if we have all these talks that we reflect a bit on what we hear. Staying healthy. You're looking at me, and I can already analyze myself. I have a weight scale. I can do all kind of measurements on myself. Some of them is, I'm overweighted. Might exercise enough, I'm not sure, go on bike every day to the TUE, do some dancing 3 times a week, might be okay, have a bit of kids. But in all, I'm not the most healthy person. Does that help me to get healthier? Hell no, I tried for years. Knowing something is not the same as changing your habits. As I showed already in the movies, we have some habits, but how do we deal with it? It's very much about intrinsic motivation. I have to find the strength at some point to be satisfied with the way that I live, satisfied with the person that I am, which means that I finally, after all those years, found a mechanism to work on my health. And it has simply to do with the situation I'm in. The fact that I am now theme leader of Smart Environment already helps. Talking every day about health kind of makes you think at some point. So, knowing things, getting data, is not the same as being healthy. I can say a lot more about all these things, but also time is running out. The last thing is, like, we need also new tools, we need new methodologies. We need to act in society together with everyone. This one is called Experiential Design Landscapes, and it's very much about doing, exploring, and designing in society together with everyone, all stakeholders involved, citizens, the government, industry, all kind of societal parties. Everyone needs to team up, and that's exactly what we're currently doing in Eindhoven. Looping over several projects, several concepts, every time trying out in the real, with people, with everyone. But last but not least, very much from a first-person perspective. The people that I'm just setting this up with are all some way of idealists. They all want to gain something in life, not for personal gain, but because they believe and trust in a sustainable world. And doing that together is, for me, the most valuable thing at this point. I'd like to thank you.